Welcome back, my friends. Now, for people who have been with the channel for a long time, you know I live kind of near Riot and have friends who work there, and I've heard through the grapevine that some of the people who worked on this have actually watched some of the videos. So for that group alone, at the end of this video, it'll be in the chapters, I have kind of a critique if you're at all interested in how I think you could make this better and what I thought of the mode in general. Okay. For the rest of the people, this is my final video for this because it's gone in 2 weeks and I've kind of done everything I wanted to do. Except for this, which is perfect runs with every single guide. Now, I kind of did it with Teemo in the last one. I used the Xayah Rakan build. A lot of people said that they were able to do it with the crew. I was not. For some reason, every time I tried, I'd end up with some stupid loss somewhere along the way. Whereas with Xayah Rakan, pretty much every single time I got through cleanly. With Zoe, it was Xayah Rakan for me, except with a little difference. I used Star Guardian. Now the reason is because Zoe was giving me so many gifts along the way, spatulas, pans, duplicators, etc. I was able to do a full Star Guardian build, turning Rakan into a Star Guardian, which gave everyone additional boosts, including Xayah, so the team became really strong. I've heard some people talk about using Bastion in there. That will also work because, again, you're getting spatulas, pans, etc. And we'll get more into that as we move into Pantheon. But I would suggest with Zoe, sticking with Xayah Rakan. It's gonna get you through perfect runs pretty easily with that. Now let's move on to Pantheon, where I'm going to show you Baker Pantheon. Unfortunately, my system messed up and I didn't get the first level Pantheon, but I actually ended up doing it with Mighty Mech, but that was because I got one of those treasure rolls, which is when you're at level 80, you have a rare chance of getting an all 5 cost, and it started me with a 2-star Yone right at the beginning, and so I was able to do the 7 Mighty Mechs and then build around it. But in general, with Pantheon, I just stuck with the Xayah Rakan builds in different form. In this particular one, it started me in the game with a Braum, and so I then decided to use Braum as the focus of gaining health, since Baker Pantheon comes with the Cooking Pot. Cooking Pot plus Chain Vest equals Bastion Emblem. That will then turn Rakan into a Bastion. So you're in a really good position to get to the 6 Bastions. Your goal, of course, 3-star Rakan, 3-star Xayah, fan service on both of them. I never end up getting in this game to the 2-star Braum, which had me concerned heading into this last fight, but I had been dominating pretty hard, and 6 Bastions along with 5 Edgelords is going to be pretty strong. I would have liked to have gotten to the 6 Edgelords, but I just didn't have enough to go up. But as you can see, Xayah Rakan combo with fan service, it's going to tear things apart, and especially if you can get a 5 cost and just feed them health, Braum is going to do a lot of the work in the back line and finish it off, but Xayah leads the damage charts, but that run is now completed, so there's only one left to go. A few people complained that I didn't do enough of a guide in the last video. I just sort of flew through it with Teemo, so I will show you this as pretty much as step-by-step as I can in doing the last Pantheon build. There's luck involved. There's no way around it. What champion you get first might help. If you get a 5 cost, that may change how you go about it, but if you just start with a 4 cost, you're probably going to want to use that just for money. Now, if I see physical, I want to go with physical, even though I'm not a fan of Star Cursed, especially in this, because you need to clump everyone together to take full effect of the Randian's Omen, but you'll see how it all works out. Now I'm going into this thinking Xayah Rakan, so Deadlier Blades is pretty much an easy take. You can roll for other stuff, but I didn't see any need to because I was Xayah Rakan or bust at this point. I then immediately level up to 4, so I have a semi-decent chance of rolling 2s. My goal is to get both Xayah Rakan and then 2 other protectors on the board. Once I have Xayah and Rakan, my goal is then to roll just enough to get my other protectors up to 2 stars, while I still have the highest percentage chance of rolling 1 cost. I don't necessarily want to spend everything, but I'm going to make enough rolls that I can get them up to 2 stars. And let's not kid ourselves, luck is a factor. I ended up getting the 2-star Xayah and the 2-star Rakan before I got the 2-star cannon. So if it works out that way, great, but it doesn't always. You just want to make sure you get the 2-star 1 cost and then sort of sit and wait and see where it goes. You're hoping for fan service. I got it on the first try. Again, a lot of luck involved in getting this. Items for Xayah, I like the Rage Blade, Krakens, and Death Blade. You don't always get them and you're going to have to compromise at times, but at this point you're going to try to save money and just fight through things. As far as challenges go, whatever's going to give you the most money. If they're going to throw Echo at you, even if it comes early, take Echo. Dragon, take Dragon. Time's up, take Time's Up. The only one I would avoid is anything that's going to jump your backline. So the Assassin's Creed and I think the Merkwolf are the 2. You want to get up to the 4 protectors kind of as soon as you can, especially if you get Echo out there, then you're going to want to hold gold. But notice I went below in this case. I went down to that 48 because I wanted to get the additional protector out since I knew I was going against Echo. He's not that hard to work around, but if you don't have enough champions on the board, then it can get a little bit tricky. And remember, we grabbed physical at the beginning, so for items, we're going to be looking for anything that's like a chain vest. Want to be able to create a Brambles vest at some point, so if you see a chain vest and you have physical, go ahead and get it. Again, I like taking physical. Once you get fan service on one, you're going to get it on the other. Also, if you're at 53, you can go ahead and level up because that'll bring you down to 49, but since you're playing to win, if you win, you get the dollar back anyway, so you'll get your full interest. So your strategy from here until 2-6 is to get yourself up to level 6 by fast leveling, which essentially is leveling up anytime you're above 50 and then stopping at 50 so you get maximum interest. Once you hit that point, then you're going to slow roll until you get to 2-6, and then I'll show you what happens at 2-6. So you use your money to level up to 6, hopefully you get Yasuo, then you're going to go ahead and use your rerolls because you now have a 40% chance of 2 costs. If you manage to get additional Malphites or whatever you might have had extra of at the beginning, that's good to go, but you're going to hold at this point at 50 to make sure that you have maximum interest going into 2-6, because 2-6 is going to make or break the fight. And remember, since Pantheon is going to jump on your team and do damage to the enemy as well as give you a shield, you want to position it so that your tanks are getting that shield. This next moment is probably the most stressful because it's going to make or break right here, because you are going to need to roll down to get a 3-star Xayah and Rakan to be able to move forward comfortably. Keep in mind, 3-1 and 3-2 are really easy, so if you get through this, you're getting through 3-1 and 3-2 without doing anything. Go ahead and roll through, but mainly you're looking for Xayah and Rakans. If you happen to get like the Malphite that fills in and you can use your 1 duplicator, that's fine, but you don't have to try to go for 3-star Yasuo's, 3-star Janus, 3-star anything like that. Also, when you have them, wait to use your duplicators until you absolutely have to. In this case, it was on the very last roll. We get Xayah and Rakan. Is it possible to win with the 2-star? You might, but you've likely rolled through your entire bankroll at that point, so I would advise then just surrendering, starting over, and doing it again, and saving yourself the time of getting to 3-6 without everything you need. Going into 3-1 with the 3-star Xayah and Rakan will allow you to just kind of sit back in those first few fights and just collect gold, which you're going to need because you need to get those last 2 protectors. So at this point, you're not rolling anymore. This particular set, you're really hoping for stuff that's going to make you money. I probably should have gone for Magic Roll. Hero's Bag, again, if I hadn't gotten the 3-star, then that would have been something to get. I should have taken Magic Roll, but you don't know until after. At this point, it's all just meh. So I went ahead and went with Climb the Ladder, just so protectors that are left over will end up becoming stronger as they go. Here on 3-1, you'll also get your 3rd power-up. Now, I want either Spiky Shell or Tankzilla, so I'm going to remove anything that isn't that and hope I get it. You get enough removers that you can kind of mess around, and in this case, we're getting a little bit of guff. Singularity isn't bad, but because we're at physical, Spiky Shell is fantastic, but Tankzilla is even better because that additional health and that stun is going to be so critical. And you do not have to think about these fights at all. If you got through 2-6, you are getting through 3-1, 3-2, probably 3-3 as well. It's not until the back half that you even have to concern yourself too much with these fights. I'd go ahead and take whatever the most money is here, again, unless it's going to jump your backline, because your backline is very vulnerable since it's really Xayah. In the interest of time, we'll skip past 3-2, 3-3. It was just rinse, repeat, and level up is the whole goal. We want to, before 3-6, be able to get up to 8. That's going to be the key, and we want to get our last 2 protectors so we can have 6 protectors. So once you can get to 8, you go ahead and do it, and then roll for those last 2 protectors, which are going to be Cassante and Nico. There is no need to go to 9 here. Really, you're going to get everything you need out of 8, and you're not going to need any 5 costs because you're relying on the 2 rerolls of Xayah and Rakan. Roll yourself down to 0. You can probably get through this fight 3-5 without 2-starring everyone. I got pretty lucky here and 2-starred both Cassante and Nico, but you can survive this one without it. The next one, you're going to have no chance unless you have all of your protectors up to 2 stars and your Xayah Rakan at 3. And in fact, if your Xayah and Rakan are not 3 by this point, you're not at this point. You've had a loss somewhere before here. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. Luck is a factor you can't remove from this. We got the 3-star Xayah and Rakan on 2-6. We got all of our 2-star protectors. That gave us the advantage here. You're probably not going to have that kind of luck the first time. I didn't the first time. It took 3 or 4 tries before I got a game where these factors came together, but it didn't take so long that it made the whole thing difficult to do. And this will be the final victory that I needed in order to get perfect runs on every single guide. And as you can see right here, that is the perfect run on the Pulsefire Pantheon. And after we hit play again, you will be able to see the entire thing. So what do we get for getting perfect runs on every single guide? Well, the answer...
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing to not even get an emote. But as I show what was actually my favorite champ to 3-star, which was Volibear, I want to talk about this mode in general, how I think they did and what I think they could have done better. Overall, I think they had a good idea, but I mean, it's not surprising. This is something I've been talking about since they first released Talker's Trials, that they needed to do a roguelike version of TFT. Where I feel like they missed in this case is that a run is kind of limited to a single instance. If the run was all the way to the top, that you had to start at the bottom and work your way up with the different guides, that kind of would have been one thing. and then allow that to have its levels within it where you can become more powerful on your run. However, for anyone who's played a bunch of this, you realize once you get up to the high levels, especially once you're at level 80, it becomes really easy to win. Then it's just a matter of what you want to do. It's tricky to do the thing that I did earlier where you do perfect runs on every single champ. That takes time. But as far as just winning, you can get the gold 3-star 5 cost, gold 3-star 4 cost. You can do all of that pretty much as you want to do. And I feel like if you're gonna have that, then you need some type of endless mode. I was actually hoping that the dragon portal was going to be something you could jump into and then end up in an endless mode, because I would love to see the 3-star champs against other 3-star champs, be able to pit them against each other and see how that goes. The Crystal Gambit build I did in the last video, I'd love to see how far you could take that if you get all gold 3-star champs with Crystal Gambit. Will you just go on endlessly? Will it just keep scaling? At some point, the other team is going to have so many champions on it that it will finally overwhelm you, but what's it going to take to get to that? I love the endless mode in Balatro and how far you can push, and that makes it a lot more fun. I wish this had it so I could have pushed it a lot further. But overall, I like this series. I like the game mode. I think they did a good job. There's just room for improvement. Hope you enjoyed this video and this series, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.